brave immortal souls. Venus Callida here. How do you like my new intro? Hero Flame, good day to you. I know you were there for my very first intro of all times. So this is my updated version. It's been a year since I've used one. I'm going to start using it for tucking in chill nights. Maybe not for the cooking shows because it might be confusing people. But for a night like tonight when I have to. I think when I'm gaming and when I'm going to be just chilling with all you guys, I just want to say hi. And the first order of business today is, it is Tishy Adams' birthday. If you guys remember, Hero Flame, you've talked to Tishy Adams and Bunny in the past in shows. And so it's her birthday today, and I'm going to go see her next week. And until then, I just want to honor her birthday. So I'm going to play this little birthday video I made for her last night, because really it was yesterday, but yeah, so let me get that up and running for you guys. Here it is. Let's go. Oh, and I've said sorry, Harry. Here we go. With us as part of our channel, and I've co-hosted with me a couple of times, especially with your special drinks and stuff, and our gaming time together has always been so much fun. I see you, Flamey Wamey. Song just for you. It's called "For the Guardian of Darkness Who Protects with Love." I'm gonna do my best to play this for you, and here it is. So, happy birthday, beautiful guardian. May your darkness be your strength, your love be your shield, and your family be forever blessed by your protection. Here we go. Special birthday song for a beautiful goth soul who guards her family with fierce love. In shadows deep where darkness dwells, a guardian heart beats strong and true, with raven wings and midnight spells. Happy birthday, this song's for you. Bestie, you wear your darkness like a crown, protecting those you hold most dear. In gothic beauty you won't back down, another year of strength is here. Like roses bloom in moonlit night, your family safe beneath your care, with fierce devotion burning bright. Happy birthday, dark and fair. So raise your chalice to the sky, let candles flicker, shadows dance. Your love will never say goodbye. Happy birthday, embrace this chance. Happy birthday, beautiful guardian. May your darkness be your strength, your love be your shield, and your family be forever blessed by your protection. I know that it is. So true, so true. Happy birthday to you, Tishy Adams. Have a wonderful day out there, and I'll be seeing you soon. Bye. Everybody, give a shout out and a like to Tishy Adams. Yay! All right. Well, just to say, I'm so sorry that I was one day late in posting her video, but I'm glad she got to see it this morning. Thank you, Hero Flame, for your kind words. I know you were there for my first days as a VTuber with my very first intro and my outro screens with music. This was something different. I'm glad you love it. I don't know if you would consider it better quality, but I love the music in it. It's actually meant to be a 15-minute intro. But I don't know that would put people off or confuse them. So I just played the first two songs. But, always, I'm feeling very happy. And don't erase. You have to tell me why you're erasing all your conversation with me. It makes people, I don't know, it makes me think. I got a nice fun game for us, though. Are you here to play Venus Game Nah? Because before that, I saw this TikTok trend. It was actually from last year, so I don't know if I'm too behind in the times. But I wanted to show you, I set up this thing for Hear Me Out. And it's this trend on TikTok. Have you seen it where there's like a big cake? And then people put pictures of all these like fake characters. I didn't put an important one on the cake. Oh, totally forgot one. So I'll have to do another cake later on. I'll update but I'm going to do one for you guys. And if you guys want to do your own videos and post them, and if I'm in them, then give them to me and I will play your videos. Hello, Fenris Fibros, you have arrived. So we have Hero Flame, #1 fan, first of all time to ever talk to me, and Famrose in at number 2. Oh, thank you for that. I found this hat when I was getting ready to do a video. Okay, I want to show you guys this fun thing. Hey, Hero, don't erase your comments. You're talking to me. Don't hide it. Something's changed in my chat. I don't know why. But you guys stay with me. Don't do it. Why did they do that? Are you leaving, Hero? Because I wanted to play 2 games with you guys. The first one is just for funnies. Fan Rose, you might appreciate this. It's that trend from last year. And I don't know if people are still doing it, but I want to do it because I just found out about it because I'm late to the game here. But it's Hear Me Out. And so let me just set this up so that I can show you my new screen. I just want to make sure it's showing up nicely. Okay. You're going to see me kind of fix this as we go, but have a look here. I don't know why you did that. So in the screenshot here, I made a beautiful living room that we can all have fun in. And I just have to fix it just a little bit. Just a little bit. Hero always disappears nowadays. I don't know why. It kind of, I don't know why. It confuses me. Don't disappear like that. People don't know that I was actually talking to a person. Oh, why that is. You're not shy. We've talked for years. Okay. Okay. I don't know why they're doing that. I don't know what that means. And they're gone. They've taken off. Okay, so I don't know what's going on there. Fan Rose, not only do I have Game Not to play with you today with the topics we discussed, but I have here a nice little living room, and I want us to play in this living room today. Got the birthday balloons and everything. But, okay, I forgot one important one. I don't know how I could have forgotten it. And so, okay, let me just move us over. So, happy birthday, Tishy Adams. And we're all going to stand here with the cake. Now, this cake is to roast myself. And, Fan Rose, if you have any thoughts, please share. But here we go. We're going to do this. Okay, so this is Hear Me Out. I'm going to tell you all of the crushes I've had for my whole life on not real characters. Now, the one I missed at the end, I'll tell you at the end, but I forgot to put them in the picture. Yeah, it's a thing they've been gone for a little while, and since they've come back, that's been happening, so I don't know why. But, all right, here we go. Are you ready, Fan Rose? Hear me out. The first crush of an unrealistic, non-human, thank you so much for that, is Spider-Man. Not just any Spider-Man, but the Spider-Man that showed up on Saturday morning cartoons that took pictures of us with his camera while swinging from the Empire State Building on a cobweb. Because I actually would pose for those pictures. I would be upset if I missed that moment. I'd run into the room trying to pose with a hand behind my head like Ginger from Gilligan's Island. And so it's not just any Spider-Man. It's the one with the camera taking my picture for me. That's my first one. And if you have any thoughts along the way, please add. All right. The second crush. Hear me out. Aquaman. I became very disturbed in my teens when I realized so many people were making gender disrespectful commentaries and jokes about Aquaman. But this blonde buff boy who could swim with the fishes, because I love swimming, as you know. And I didn't understand why he was being picked on. I really didn't. I mean, the colors aren't my favorite, and I didn't understand why orange except goldfish. And green is like mermaid, regular fish in the sea that can hide. And the trident's just cool. So I never knew why. Although he couldn't fight a lot of crime unless he ran through the water fountains in towns or popped up out of like drinking fountains. I don't know how he could have really helped on the land. But, you know, maybe a few people weren't eaten by sharks and he protects all the surfers. I don't know. But I felt he got a bum rap. Ha, ha. And then hear me out. Well, Khal Drogo. Now, I knew this guy when Baywatch finally featured for the first time what my friend group thought was a hot guy for us to run on the beach next to Pamela Anderson and Yasmin Bleeth and all of those ladies. We actually had a house party to watch the episode that introduced Mr. Momoa as a young boy with dark hair and a tan skin. Before he got attacked and got the scars on his face, we were so very happy. We had a party to celebrate it. But then I followed him to this one where I used to watch MacGyver. My parents always watched MacGyver. So when Dean, whatever his name is, went into this Atlantis, or I think it was Atlantis, but it was like a space futuristic show. And that grumpy guard guy was Momoa with the long hair. I'm for it. You know, Ariel's dad is your favorite. We are so parallel. You're looking respectfully. We're looking above the waist. His waist is covered in lots of leather, which I don't mind either. And I'm thinking you don't either. But anyways, when he became Khal Drogo, I was like, I know that guy. Yay, his shirt is off again. He might have regretted the choice, but I loved him for the role. Yay. Okay, now hear me out. Jessica Rabbit. Listen, I consider myself straight. However, I also consider that I know it's beautiful. And that was the smexiest, surprisingly smexy. I was shocked that they made a smexy, shimmering woman with sultry voice for a cartoon. And why was she married to a rabbit? What does that mean? Was that, bestiality? I won't say it. But you gotta admit, the way they drew her, I just love her line. I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way. There's just some things we can't help. It's in our DNA. It's not our fault. And it's just like, people just assume things. Like, I don't smile in public because I feel like that makes me look crazy. So people always assume I'm miserable, and I'm perfectly fine. Inside my head, I'm singing rainbow songs, But, I gotta say, I gotta give it to her. She belongs on my cake. That's something I took notice of as a kid. It's just that rabbit. You think you're going to see a cartoon rabbit. You think Bugs Bunny. You think it's going to be somewhat harmless. Nope. No, she was something. He was just drawn that way. I just love that. If you howl like a wolf at Jason. Yes, I would accept that. He would laugh. You know what? If we were to do that, he would laugh. I think now we have to write to him as fans and tell him to maybe become a werewolf in his next movie. He got the hair. He got so much hair. Okay, now hear me out. When they made Aquaman cool and they stuck Mr. Momoa in the water again for me, I couldn't have been happier because I already was, I can't even give this away. But when they put him in this movie, first of all, I thought the main female character was the blonde lady, Nicole Kidman, not Amber Heard. So when the Amber Heard stuff came up and they went on about the second movie, I always thought I would follow his mother's character, not the girlfriend's character. It's just me. For no reason. But he's gonna, you'll see a pattern here. But I'm somewhat loyal and consistent in my likes across my lifetime. Now, these are the characters. I'm cheating? Anyways, I was thankful that they made Aquaman cool again and all those jokes of my original Aquaman went away. Because this person could crush people making fun of him. You can't make fun of him. He's kind of really nice. I hope he didn't cheat on his wife, but I think he did with Amber Heard. I don't know. I don't want to get into that. Okay, you're not surprised. Lake, I love blue, I love aqua, I love baby blue, I love her hair. And I can't grow my hair past my waist, so I'm envious. She's got a lot of nice hair. And she's so free. I love painting, and she's the color of water. So, that she's not shy, and I don't like to wear a lot when I'm sitting at home streaming or playing video games. It gets hot. Stuff sometimes gets in the way. I just want to feel cool and free and nice, and I get that. I get that about Lake. Plus, we just had a really great fun baking night with her. And there's going to be one more episode with her coming up in August because I'm not done with the baking show. Anyways, she inspired me. I had to do it. She inspired a cooking show. She got to be on the cake. I know you'll forgive me for that one. Yes. Okay, I shipped him with Aika, but I think this aggressive wolf can handle it. I like this boy. And he's nice. He looks like he's this miserable emo, should be a goth guy, but isn't. And like, I don't even want to put him in a leather jacket. I just want his button-up shirt to be unbuttoned. I like it that way. I like this guy. And he's someone that, thankfully, someone out there paid to do the telephone call with him for the telephone date, the coffee date. So we get to see the date for free. So whoever did that, thank you. I like this guy from the Blush Blush world. So he ended up in a cooking show. Ooh, we're going to see that coming up on Tuesday. And I think he's going to like it. Ayika's loving making it. And I'm loving sharing the whole idea. All right, hear me out. Hear me out. Okay, this is Grom Hellscream. Gromesh. It's the abs and the long dark hair that flows in the wind. And he can survive. And he's like a general in war. Like he's like an upper warrior guy that leads people armies. And in his original drawings, he's a little bit more sleek and green. So it's like the better looking version of the Hulk. And he's got a leaner face, but it's like the dark, long Japanese kind of hairstyle with the Japanese high ponytail on guys that are in like Korean soap operas. But in green, I couldn't find the right picture, but Grom Hellscream, I got to give it to him in a raid. I don't mind losing to him, but I want to make him work hard first. If I can't win, I want him to sweat. Yes, Grom. Grom, he's a warrior. I love it. Okay. Dritz Durden, a night elf from a book series called The Forgotten Realms, which when I discovered this set of books, I couldn't put it down. And my mind went on imagination about this. I just like the way he was. I like Drizzt. I think I always said it Drizzt in my head. Made it easier to come out. Just his whole story. I don't know if you know this character, but okay. The dark elves from this realm, because I love elves. I'm an elf myself. But I'm a belf. I'm a blood elf. He is a dark elf, so they live underground. The arachnid world is there with them. Their skin is like oil black, but he's got silver hair, which his mother, and one of his sisters, the sister he's closest to, who had the same father as him, have silver hair, which is very rare, and they have like violet eyes. And the night elves have violet eyes. Me, as a belf, we've got silvery eyes. The rare ones have gold, but he's a rare looking kind of guy, but a very good heart and a very loyal person who's very loving and protective of the people that he loves. And in the whole series, if you ever see The Forgotten Realms, I do suggest reading it. It was awesome, but my mind, yeah. I know we're all addicted to energies of different kinds, right? Yeah. So my imagination went wild over these books for this character. Yeah, I have to admit that. I think I really love this series. It's really great. All right, so I recommend. All right, hear me out. Suguru Geto. Okay, so he's a main antagonist in a manga and anime series called Jujutsu Kaisen, and it's created by I think you said Gigi Akutami, and I don't know if you've heard of it, but okay, look, there's a theme here. That long Japanese hair, that nice bronze skin, the sleekness, but they've got this stamina. There's something, my eye has always been drawn to the longer torso that's got those wide shoulders and that little stomach. I know I can't offer that to the world myself. I'm an hourglass, but what? Yeah. Well, Death Note, I was actually going to put Death Note guy in there, but I thought, I don't know if that's too creepy. So I held back a little. There's 2 or 3 characters that I could have put on this cake, but I didn't know how many things I should put on the cake. So yeah, I do. Yeah. I'm a gamer, and why I was attracted to WoW was because it looked like anime characters the way they drew the characters. Oh. Well, check it out because I like it. I like his character. And then I'm not sorry. Okay, hear me out. Vox Akuma. He did reveal what he really looks like. I wish he had never done it, but he's actually a really cute little young guy, right? I expected him to have darker hair and be shorter and like more squared. I don't know why, just because he has such an amazing, sexy voice. So then he uses Vox voice as part of his name. His intros are amazing, which is why I've tried to mess around with having intros of my own. He's got the outro screens. I did design one, and I also designed taking a break screen. I just don't know how to run them well. Like if I were to pay the money and be part of Ultra for Streamlabs, then I could have things inputted for me that I just use. And I made my own because I wanted to do what he did. Now I can't be sexy like him, and I can't tell the sex stories like he does. He does a fantastic job. But before I started streaming, the summer I was going to launch with a lesser looking character, I saw his look. I just love it. Oh, he's an amazing voice actor. I think he works for Hollow Olive. So he's got a team there with him, but he's awesome. He used to have other like lives on screen. One of them was like a centaur character, so I just know his voice. And the Grumpy Dragon, the ASMR, where you just see a picture and then you listen to the voice and fall asleep. The Grumpy Dragon stories, I used to fall asleep to those. And I saw him when I had to be 4 weeks in bed after a surgery a couple years ago before I became a VTuber. But I was already like in the running for it. And when I saw this character, I was just like, I cannot go in. I want a better model. So I feel like this Venus, my avatar here, could stand beside him and look pretty good. Yeah. So he became my standard of my look. I like how he does things. It's great. But I'm doing it by myself with no computer experience at all. Teaching myself as I go. But I'd watch him. That's how I figured out how to do the paper doll thing, to dress myself in different costumes, by watching what he was doing. It was awesome. So I recommend looking him up online. He became a sensation within a month. I think he hit over 1 million people. And he can sing. But his speaking voice is so good. He's not batting for my team, and I don't care. I'm on deck. I'm warming up. I don't care. Because I just hand me some wine in a chair. I'll watch. Like I think he's awesome. I'm a fan of his. I was a fan of his before I started doing this, and when I discovered him, I couldn't go live until I had this model that I have now. Yeah. So yeah, I might, but I have so many interests. Hollow Olive. It's one of the companies in Japan. He's one of their English-speaking artists, but also I think he might have been, and I could be wrong, but I think he might have been the first to actually be open about targeting the gay male audience, which other people might have been doing, but maybe not overtly the way he's been unashamed to do, and I think that's fantastic. But and being a female, I didn't realize that at first, because at first I was just a fan listening to his voice and his stories, especially the Grumpy Dragon stuff. And then when I realized I like how popular he got so fast, I was one of the people watching him back then. As he grew and hit that million, I was like, oh my God. And then I found out I was sad for half a minute, and I'm like, I don't care. I'll walk. Give me a chair. I don't care. He's just too awesome. I couldn't turn off my ears. So every once in a while I still go check in on his shows. I used to watch religiously until I started VTubing myself. I just don't have the time to do everything. But I'm going to say check him out. Some of his stories quite naughty. And but he can sing, he can speak, he does so many funny things. He does a lot of gaming, he hosts interviews, he helps collab with other artists, and there's just like they seem like a tight-knit community, the people that are featured together each year. Each season a new group comes in and they all work with each other, keeping each, they raise each other's popularity and stuff. But he really was a sensation, like really fast. Really fast. I know that puts some pressure on him too, but he's one of my inspirations. Okay, hear me out. I have always loved Wonder Woman. I had Wonder Woman comics. I was not allowed to have a Barbie doll, but I could have a Wonder Woman doll. You take off those clothes. I was very thankful that they had painted on her Wonder Woman suit, so my brothers couldn't strip naked the doll and behead her and leave her legs splayed out like so many little brothers and girls did to Barbies. I hated seeing Barbies left like that. I feel like dolls are cursed people, and animatronics are cursed people who cannot protect themselves. And whatever people do to them, I just feel like it's as violating as if it was to a person. Maybe because they're shaped like people, I just don't like that happening. I don't like that people can't protect themselves. And I've always felt that way about dolls. I don't know why. I don't know what that is from. But Wonder Woman, and of course, I'm going to tell you as a little kid, Wonder Woman, Linda Carter is my Wonder Woman, not the new girl. Although I know maybe she's more historically accurate to colorings of the Mediterranean, but that girl played naughty characters and mean naughty characters in other movies before she came that Wonder Woman, and I don't know, I don't get past. There's certain people that are probably wonderful humans, but they play a role. They play certain roles, and you get to know them for those roles, and I can't see them in another role and buy it. And it's just like, but I think she did a great job, but the original Wonder Woman, the Wonder Woman of the comic books, I had the comic books, I had the doll. She had a day job working for the government. My parents approved of that to aspire to, as opposed to Barbie. And you know what? And she worked with Aquaman in the movies, the modern movies. So, but I've always taken inspiration from her, and all my cowboy boots have been red leather all my life. And I'm not sorry about that either. And plus, I could wear that outfit. I could rock that golden eagle on my chest. I could do it. And I have made a cosplay and been in cosplays with her. Officially during COVID, I actually cosplayed her, but I did the 1950s comic book style where I gave her the star skirt, and the cape. I made the whole cape. That cape is a gorgeous cape. I made that out of real, I think I made real silk too, and it's gorgeous. And it's so billowy. I heard grown men say, "Oh, that's so billowy." They were dressed like Vikings. I'll take it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry you got sick. You should go back and watch it. It actually tugged my heartstrings. Things never used to tug my heartstrings. But even now, I could watch a commercial about a stupid chocolate bar and start crying. I don't know why. I could be happy, blaring music down the highway, fast speeds, and all of a sudden start to tear up. I don't know why. It's a change in me. I don't know why I've turned into such a girly girl. I never was. I resented of myself. But anyways, one of my first girl heroes, Wonder Woman. And she had the day job. I was prompted by my parents to go to school, get an education, and go work for the government so you could be secure for the rest of your life. It didn't work out quite that way, and I've still got the red leather boots. and a cosplay costume, which I really love and got compliments for. There were grown men that were asking if their little girls could take pictures with me, and I think that cosplays are still so body positive, and the most welcoming place a single woman could still go by herself and be safe and be welcome and have a good time. It's tiny bit changing in Toronto a little bit, but in the overall, I find it's the best, fun, silly thing to do. Okay. Now, you've heard me out. I'm so glad we had fun with this. Who I forgot to put here was Snape. Alan Rickman's voice, okay, why I like Vox Acuma, the voice is so beautiful and deep that I would fall asleep listening to him read a sonnet. I've fallen asleep so many times to the ambiance scenes of Snape's house, and the You see him sitting reading a newspaper. And I've taken some pictures of me in the Hogwarts Mystery Game recently, which you guys haven't seen as a thumbnail yet, standing next to him, looking at him in the Venus, so that I could finally have a picture with him, sort of ish, at least in the virtual world. Yeah, I don't like to cry my heart out, but I'm a quiet crier. Actually, one of my first cousins, who's a guy, at unfortunately a funeral for one of our relatives, and I was asked to give a prayer, and I couldn't. Like, I've done public speaking a lot, and I couldn't get through it. I got caught in crying, and he said I was the sexiest crier in public he's ever seen. So I really tried to hold it in, but I couldn't. And then I made some mistakes. I looked at our relative who I was very close to and said, "Oh, bleep, I'm so sorry." And then I said, "Oh God, bleep, I'm effing up." And then I looked at the priest and they're looking at me and they didn't look angry. And then my first cousin saved me because I did some more bleeping and I'm still on a microphone, but I couldn't breathe. I was so hurt that I couldn't breathe. And I just kept looking at our relative like, "I'm so sorry, you deserve so much better than this." I read for them at their wedding, and here I am bleeping it out, taking God's name in vain in a church, on the pulpit, at the front, at the altar, with the priest beside me. So another first cousin came up, held my hand, and helped me finish it. Wow, that was a story. But, yeah, I've done that in public. I know I would have been forgiven. But the good part was the spouse was not hurt or upset. They were just touched how much I love the person, and that nobody has ever seen me screw up like that in public, ever. I've been asked to do so many speeches and prayers and blessings and toasts for people, and I got public speaking awards, and that was the only time that ever happened. Yeah. And I was just so glad that in the eyes of the priest, they were not mad at all. Just like bug-eyed a little bit, and then they gave me a tiny smile and tried to pat my hand. I'm like, I really should just sit down, but someone's got to finish this. Yeah. And I went to the spouse and apologized, and they were not mad. The priest was not mad. That's the part I was really worried about, but I was afraid to look at my father's face. But I think he's reasonable. They didn't talk about it. Nobody talked about it, so they let me go. But I would put Snape here because, well, you know what? Okay, here's the thing. I was a little kid, and that Pride and Prejudice came out, and Alan Rickman was in it, but with like the blondie golder hair, which is, I think, his natural hair color. And my mother had a crush on him, and I thought he was not good looking at all. But she couldn't pull away because of the voice. She had to watch the whole long, I thought, boring movie because of that voice. And I couldn't get it because I couldn't get past the face. I'm a face person first, right? But then I got older. And in the Christmas movie I love the most, which we're going to debate this. You can hate me all you want. With Bruce Willis blowing things up at Christmas time because Rickman was a bad guy coming into a building and held his ex-wife hostage, and I don't even remember what the point of this all was, but it happened over the Christmas season. I count it as a Christmas movie because I cannot stand watching romance movies. That has not been really a part of my life. I don't want to see it all the time in my face. So it was a Christmas movie where things were blowing up, and that made me very happy. And Bruce Willis won. And but as much as I knew Rickman's character was the bad guy, he had that voice. And he was being so polite while pissing off everybody that I couldn't help but like him because of that voice. And I hated myself for liking him. But then he showed up in Harry Potter. And I grew up watching those movies with my mother. And it was like, there he is again. But with the dark hair. And the moodiness works. And his voice was still so prim and proper perfect. And I was like, dang it, my mother was right. That voice trumps all. I'm so very sad, yeah. I count it as a Christmas movie. You hate me for it. Come at me. Because, yeah, that's the kind of Christmas movie I want to see. No smooching, please. Life is not all lovey-dovey. Boo. Blow some things up, but survive. Win. I mean, But anyways, Alan Rickman in all his roles, I love that he was Snape. I hate that they're recasting the movie already because I'm not dead yet and I grew up with it. And I hate to know, like, oh, those characters are old now. And I'm like, oh my God. They're 8. Oh, no. No. And they're replacing them now with other characters, other kids. And it'll be a whole new genre. I hate that things like Spider-Man, Batman, Superman get so many remakes all the time. And I'm like, can we, like, have new stories? Because this has been, like, the 5th or 10th incarnation. I've already, I want some new stories, please. I don't like replacing who I grew up as a little kid watching. I don't know. I'm just loyal that way. I want new stories. Anyways, here I'm making my own. Yay. So, okay. So you heard me out. It's a pretty eclectic. Certain themes in there. Aquaman and Momoa each hit twice. And the truth is, if I were to add one more, it's not just Grom from Hellscream from WoW, but that white-haired, so again, kind of like Drizzt, the white-haired blood elf, who is also a Death Knight, but he rides around with Morgraine, giving NPC quests. I can't remember his name. I couldn't look it up. I didn't have enough time. But there would have been a second... Although paler-skinned, more goth, blacked-out eyes, and the long white hair again. Long hair. It's a thing for me. I don't know. It has to smell nice. It has to be brushed. No more origin stories? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now. So I'm going to switch scenes on us again. Give me 1 second because we're going to play Venus game now. And let's just move us back over here where I think we'll fit for the game. I'm going to shrink us down a bit. I just keeping Tishy here today because it's her birthday. So I want to just, in case she peeks in tonight. All right. I'm getting rid of one thing. I'm ready with the next. Okay. I might have to adjust the screen a bit, but here we come. Venus game now. 2.0. I promised we'd play it tonight. We talked, and I listened. So let me maybe I'll move us over here. Bunny and I can squish out a bit. Yeah. Now that looks pretty cute. I think that looks pretty cute. We're in a good spot. All right, here we go. Fan Rolls, Fab Rolls. This game's for you. Venus, game na. Okay, how to play. Just for people that come to watch. I actually tried to take care of the links this time around. Something didn't translate. Oh, dang it. Anyways, we know how to play. We're just going to do it. Game na. Oh, no. I did all of the mythology, backstory, and mush based on crush, blush, hush, hush lore. And I think we're too big to be here. So we're gonna squish us. I'm going to squish us down even more. Hang on 1 second here. Yep. We're going to be super mini tonight. There we go. Hopefully that won't be too much in the way. I'm going to do that. Bye, Bunny. Okay, we'll do that. I hope that's good enough. Oh, if this means that certain links won't bring us back yet in the other game. So the things that'll work this time are different than the things that worked last time. But, all right, Fanros Fabros, you are on deck. Would you like to pick mythology, backstory, or mush? Mush? All right, here we go. Which crush waifu can fall asleep on a roller coaster? My questions are so random, but actually I filled in the mush questions pretty fast today. It's pretty easy for me to pick questions. What do you think? And while we're waiting, I'm going to drink some water. Cheer of the mind, chin chin. Is it Al? Who can fall asleep on a roller coaster? I actually found this out by playing the Hush Hush demo. Are you kidding me? Here we go. Elle, the pink-haired pillow-hugging bunny girl. We find out in Hush Hush that she actually has... Do you want to know? Did you play yet? Is this a spoiler? We found out why in Crush Crush we always see her hanging forward over a pillow. Do you want to know? Can I tell you? Should I let you find out on your own? Play Hush Hush. Get to know Elle. She's going to tell you her secret. And then, yes, she has narcolepsy. That's why, remember how you made fun of the girls that can't stand up straight? And she's always hugging a pillow? It's not to like have her boobs flow over the pillow at you. She actually keeps falling asleep. And one time she tells us in Hush Hush that she once fell asleep on a roller coaster. So she tells us this so we know she's not like bored of us if going on a date with her. That it's nothing personal. It's a medical thing. Yeah. Here we go. Venus. Game na. All right. I didn't think about something that cancels out the category, but we'll just know. We've done one for mush mush. All right. That's 1 point for me. Yay. What category would you like next? Well, maybe you are correct. Yes. You know, I wouldn't complain if she asked to sleep on my shoulder. Mythology. Let's go. All right. What flying creatures are associated with the Roman goddess Venus? I think we can be a tiny bit bigger. Oh, here. Womp. Womp. And I didn't know this. I assumed it was a different thing for a different reason. Gargoyles. Reveal. Answer. Doves and cherubs. Doves, like cherubs, like the little Cupid babies, and doves for purity of love. They are doves. I always thought it was the owl because in some mythology her husband made her like this technological owl. That's why you see me use an owl on my shoulder sometimes in my shows as a companion to her to give her wisdom when she needs. From Vulcan, her husband Vulcan, also known as Hephaestus. All right, going back. See, some of my game is working. Yay! So 1 point for you, 1 point for me. Who's gonna win? Game now. Yes. No, you get that point. You get that point. I know that we have a 10-second lag, so it's not a problem. 1 point for you, 1 for me. We are tied in Venus. Game na. 2.0. All right. I actually had fun thinking of questions for the topics you picked today. So I approve of this message. Backstory for 100, Alex. Boom. What is the name of Venus Callida's elven hometown? If you didn't see my debut, you wouldn't know. But the hint I can give you is, I was a gamer before I was a VTuber. So, the origin story I made for Venus absolutely has everything to do with WoW. Do 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 boo boo. Are you going back and watching the videos as we speak? And you beat out Hero. You are now the #1 fan in chat today. Yay. You get a purple crown. It's okay. I'm just going to tell you. It's not a big deal. Something fun to know. Because it actually does belong in my Brave and Mortal Souls series. Suncrown Village. This hilltop town is next to Elrender Falls and River in the state of Ghostlands on the continent of the Eastern Kingdoms. It's in the north of the continent. While Venus Callida served her elven nation as a conscripted foot soldier, her village was overrun by the Nerubian Scourge. So all those giant deadly spiders are there. Upon regaining free will, she returned to find her village's fate. I actually did record myself doing this in the game. Signs that younger siblings survived birthed her mission to become a protector of all survivors. So as a mercenary, she built a safe haven to protect others. So rebuilding in the ruins, which is why I always show the ruins in the throne room. And my schedules always are built on like marble tablets. And to provide a future home for her lost siblings once found. Yeah. So that's part of my stories in the Triveni. Brave Mortal Souls, eventually one day I will actually sit down. Now that I've learned about Chat GPT or whatever it is, I'm actually going to use that to help me do it because I've moved so many times that I can't find my original stories. And some of what I really originally wrote was actually made me cry. So I want to eventually sit down. I'm just not in the headspace to do it right now. I hate to say that. But I abandoned something 2 years ago that I'd like to finish. Yeah. Yes, it is the land of the Blood Elves. And also, because the Scourge came there, this is where they killed Sylvanas, my queen from Brill, the statue of Brill, where I do the chicken races with my guild once a month. And the big fat chicken races, which are the ostriches, which they sell just outside the main city, the Elven main city. Yeah. I'm hoping that there's somewhere where I haven't found them yet, but the original stuff that I wrote, some of my stuff, because of floods and things and all the moves I made, have either gotten lost or they were mildewed, damaged, eaten by mice. Just goes, I don't have mice, but like when mice are starving, actually, they nibble on paper when they're desperate. But if I could find some of it and the script to get Msoul out of the tent, that I wrote 2 summers ago and then never went back to it. Just because at the time, making my stories and putting the sound effects behind them to make it work as a radio show, because I really can't illustrate it the way I see it in my head. It just took so long, and I did other things to just try to build subscribers based on algorithms. Yeah. Backstory number 2. Here we go. The human manifestation of Venus Callida, being me, wrote a series of stories called the Triveni. Who are the Triveni referring to? And another hint, all these characters exist in WoW. So those of my subscribers who came with me from the WoW, from gaming into YouTube, they know who these are because when I play my different alts, they would engage with all of them. And we had nicknames for all of them. Oh, I'm chugging my water today. A military faction that Venus is from? Let's find out. The human manifestation of Venus Callida wrote Triveni. Who are they? Though I've not only begun to tell you all the stories of the Brave Immortal Souls series on YouTube, it is based on stories of the Triveni, the three Venus characters known to be sisters, told from the perspective of a young elven beauty called Venus Callida. This name was not known to our Frost Death Knight. It was a name given to her by the lost middle child named Venus Turindi upon their reunion in the Outlands. Baby V, as she is nicknamed by fellow guildies in this mercenary band, also my guild, AV on the Horde side in WoW, insists on recognizing her long-lost older sibling. And just a side note, a gnome warlock who befriended the younger elf helped in this reunion. And there's a whole thing about that, but to be found out when I finally get to ironing out and retelling my stories. Yeah. Because this story takes on 3 different perspectives out of a possible 4. If you count my dragon mount. Yeah. Interesting information. Ba-da-doo. I hope you're finding this fascinating. There's like a real lore behind this. I couldn't play a video game without creating a diary of backstory as characters moving through the world. So I really did develop these stories as I was learning how to play this video game. Because otherwise I couldn't understand why you would spend hours doing it. I had to create a world. As you talked about military factions, so I am a guildmaster on the Horde side with Venus Callida as the GM, Avitus Validus, AV. And there was a time back between Lich King and Cataclysm that my guild ranked 97th in the world for a short time. But I basically lived online to do that. But I used to have a raid team, a 10-man raid team. I had we had a couple of 3-man arena teams. We had the raid teams. Mythology number 2. Venus is celebrated in the springtime as she also represents fertility. When do they honor Venus? You could pick a month, if not a day of the year. Do 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 bum ba-dum 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 bum ba-dum bum. Da da na 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 la 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 da na da na 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 la 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 Oh. Yeah. What month would you guess Venus is celebrated? The hint is she represents fertility as well as love. Because I don't think you'd know the actual day, but the month would be helpful. All right, here we go, revealing the answer. April 23rd. So you're correct. Venus is celebrated annually during the Vinalia festival on April the 23rd. More in ancient ritual, but during the festival, Romans made offerings of wine to Venus, seeking her blessings for a successful grape harvest and an abundance of wine for the coming year. The Vinalia was an important event for wine growers and vineyard owners who saw Venus as a patroness of viticulture and agriculture. It's interesting. I didn't know that about her. Yeah, Caesar gets March. Venus gets April. All right. Here we go. Yay! Have we done 2 for each category already? I think we have. Ooh, 3 left. In what order would you like to take your guess? I don't know if I made a tiebreaker question. I'll just have to make one up. Okay. Mush Mush. Did we do 2 for Mush Mush already or just 1? Did we do 2 or 1? Let me just check. Oh, we only did 1. Okay. Name the 2 Crush Crush hotties that Ayika altered from living anime waifu into energy beings surviving on electronic and sound waves. That's all right. I'm not counting. We're just having fun here. I actually had fun making these questions. And I hope you're finding it entertaining to find out the answers. Yay. Now, I think you're the one that tipped me off about Ayika. One of them we found out through Crush Crush. The other we found out through Hush Hush. Mio and Generica? Generica, the school crush who is now a ghost in the Wi-Fi machine. Alpha. I told you about her being a model in the mall, who is a famous singer on top of all sorts of posters around that mall lobby. Now she is a karaoke spirit in the Crush Crush world. But she was a living singer, a celebrity singer in the Hush Hush world. It totally shocked me when I put that together. Like, you warned me about her. I saw the mess in the movie theater, but oh my. You're going to see Alpha actually has a last name. I'm not going to tell you that because I know you like surprises. So go to that mall lobby in the Hush Hush world. Actually look at who's in the posters. Her name is there. Alpha and her last name. She has a last name. And she was a living girl. She wasn't just the ghost in the karaoke machine. Our karaoke spirit. Yeah. Aren't you glad we're playing this game? It really focuses us in on stuff. And plus we should claim Mush Mush our topic, our theme. What we're doing with all these worlds is just blowing my mind. I think your mind was blown too, just a little. All right. We've got 3 questions left. Where does your mind want to travel next? Da-na-na-na, 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 da-na-na-na. Anyways, you get a point for knowing Generica. Yeah. It is a little bit shocking. Boom, 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 boom. Ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Ooh. We still have 3 to go. We have 1 mythology, 1 backstory, and 1 mush mush left. Did you want to end early today? Because we still have 3 categories left. 3 questions. Let's see what I've got going on here. I did make a tiebreaker question. Yeah, we do. We've only done 2 questions for each of our categories so far. There's still much more to entertain you with, if you've got the time. La 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 la. Okay. Backstory for 100, Alex. Here we go. When Venus Callida was forcibly taken from her home during the conscription of teenage elves, which other relative was taken with her? Now, again, if you haven't seen my debut show, you won't know the backstory here, but just take a random guess. Dum 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 dum. All right. Well, we'd like to hope. Okay, let me tell you about this. My backstory. When Venus Callida was forcibly taken from her home during the conscription of teenage elves, the relative taken with her. Along with school friends and neighbors, Venus's first cousin was also abducted by the military conscription force sent by Silvermoon City. Her name was Frux Eterna, real in the game that I play. Interesting side note, Frux was only half elven. Her mother was a human healer and an ambassador sent by King Rin from Stormwind City. This woman was known as Cordhela. All real video game characters in the game, people with different accounts, not me, but a part of the story world that I built. It's a whole rich world. In my head, I have it very clear because I really did write it down at one point in my life. All right. First slide. Game 9. 2 questions left. But I like where your head was at. Maybe he belongs in my mythology section. He's not there today, but we could work it in. Maybe you need to tell me your cake, and then I can make a video showing your hear me out. And then you can explain it to us in the chat. And I'll make the pictures. That would be hilarious. So if anybody out there wants me to do a hear me out cake for them, I will show it on a Friday night for Tuckin' and Chill. But then you guys have to be here to actually tell us why. We're gonna hear you out. If you want, we can do that. Mush mush for 10,000, Alex. Ba-boom. Which Crush Crush lady was turned into an animal at the Blush Blush Zoo when she drank the magic water? I wrote this one for you, fan. You gotta know it. You gotta know it. Who drank the magic water, people? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking you like redheads too. Yes, it's Beaverly! He's just a little thirsty. I love your loyalty. Beaverly, she appears in bear form across both universes, fighting with my hottie patati, the wolf boy, and putting another one up a tree. And in our world, she has that poster too. I have a poster of her. It kind of reminds me of the Marilyn Monroe on the red velvet couch thing. So she's in both Blush Blush and Crush Crush worlds. Level her enough, and she turns back into a human girl wearing a bear onesie, which is really cute and adorable. And I don't know if you're there yet, but yeah. I had to do Beaverly for you. That was a nod to you there, Rose. All right. I think that leaves us with just one last question. Mythology. Here we have it. Who is the aspect of Venus in the Crush Crush and Hush Hush universe? I just keep thinking of the special event the Valentine Festival, where all the characters are dressed very well in interesting costumes that I would like to cosplay, if I could pull them off. But this one in particular seems to be an aspect of Venus in my thoughts. All right, here we go. Here we go. Copernicus, I spelt it wrong, but I don't care. Oh, I said cuss and you said kiss. Well, that denotes something of our different personalities. That's hilarious. The goddess of light serves as the aspect of Venus in the Crush Crush Hush Hush worlds. She also hosts a special Valentine event in the Crush Crush game. Yay! All right. Now, you were interested in the tiebreaker, and I think I really did write one. All right, here we go. Both in WoW and the Brave Immortal Soul YouTube series, who was Venus Callida's closest buddy in battle? I show them a lot in our door games and in my memes and stuff with me some of the time. My battle buddy. You may not know, but once you find out, you're going to go back and see him everywhere in the stuff that I've been doing. On a side note, I'm still not over yet the fact that you spell things with kisses and I spell things with cusses. That so denotes our moods right now. That's all right. So I'll give you a kind of a sideways hint. I love The Walking Dead. Oh. Jason Momoa. But in battle gear, in or out, I don't care. But listen, we'll take that J. You'll get a half a point. Let's look at this. I'm going to tell you my lore here. Jick. So you'll see Jick a lot. He looks like a ghoul, like a raised ghoul. I'm going to tell you why. He was my real gaming buddy and real human being, okay? And when I first started playing this game, he and I were both DK'd, used to be able to raise the dead and turn fallen raid buddies into zombies. So when you went to a raid, if you're in the same team together, you can cast Raise the Dead. They took it away from the game. They nerfed it, but it was awesome. Because then instead of having to do a death run back or wait till the main boss is over, you still get one more minute to still cause damage in the fight as a raised ghoul. Some people not knowing it's been cast on them get confused and wasted, but then when they blow up, they still cause damage to anything standing near them. So he and I would run around the universe together in Northrend and go into raids and stuff, and I'd res him all the time. We were ready for that. It was just hilarious, because back in those days, Death Knight was pretty much a god, and I could run around in my red bikini blowing kisses at people in raids, and and battlegrounds and win the flag every time. Jick. Have you seen Jick in my stuff? Because he's there a lot. In those Survivor recipe blitzes, he's there beside me. I'm spoofing it, but he's a real person. We are still friends on Facebook because he left the game a while, but still a real human. But in honor of the fact that I used to raise him to the dead, I carried over that gameplay with us and our sense of humor into the Brave Immortal Souls series in the Triveni books. And in the Brave Immortal Souls episodes, there's a poem I read to him. It's like a monologue or a soliloquy I do for him. In one of them, just to remember, we spent a few years together. It was really nice. And, it's hard now when we've all kind of, we're not teeny boppers anymore and the world took over. But that's how I commemorate him and keep him in my heart. And keep him alive in the game, sort of, for me. And he also was one of the people back then. We would take screenshots. He would be in his characters and let me take screenshots with him for stuff, because we knew one day I'd write the books. And so, yeah. So I have total permission to raise his alter egos whenever I want. Some of the time you're all my little blue guy, the soul. So if you ever leave your body, out-of-body experience, that's you. That's Msoul. That's you. Or him. Or me. Until you get back in your body and get back to doing whatever you got to do in life again, right? But Jick, if you see the ghoul that runs around with me, like my sidekick in battle, that is Jick. I call him Jick in all of our door games. So he's popped up in a lot of door games. But real person I really gamed with, and I really did res him as a ghoul. So instead of showing him as the hot blonde elf that he was, he's the raised ghoul, because we had so much fun raising him everywhere and watching him run around, and he'd run into things so he could explode them for me. Yeah. Whew. Okay. So that concludes tonight's Tuckin' and Chill Venus Game Nod 2.0. I actually think that worked much better than the first time. I'm very excited about all the backstory and lore I could share with you tonight, and also to bring in the fun with the games that we are just engaged with right now that have been a lot of fun. Yay. So I'm pretty happy about that. I think tonight went pretty well. I know I started earlier than I said, but that's okay. Because I started trying to promote it today on TikTok and Instagram and stuff, and I said 9. I didn't mean 10, so I thought I should be here by 9, but that's okay. Now, in the time that we have left, we could just shoot the breeze, or if you want, I'll go into Crush and Blush and just check in on everything, because I haven't done that since early this morning. I don't think you'd mind if I do that, do you? I'm gonna, yeah. I'm so happy. This is so great. So, yeah, I think this one went a lot better. And I'm glad I could show you the Hear Me Out cake. I think that was hilarious. And I'm glad to see your reaction to it. Okay, so I'm going to ask you, in my Hear Me Out cake, did I surprise you with anything? Was anything a surprise? Or would you have guessed I would have picked something else that I didn't? I would be curious to know. Or what would you add to my cake? Yeah? Okay, excellent. All right, let's just bring us up a little bit. Yay! And I'm going to just, for the minute, blank me out while I try to figure out. Happy birthday again, Tishy, if you're taking a look tonight. I'm going to find, what did I say I was going to do? Okay. And I'll start with the girls, because that one doesn't bug out. And I'm going to, let me see what I'm going to do here. I'm just setting it up. What? Okay, done. Let's play. Let's see if it took. Ba-boom. Oh, it didn't. Okay, I'm going to try that again. I'll just put it to screen 1 because it's not doing what I want it to do. Oh! And we have to, look, little Copernicus. I love the chibi Copernicus with her little big giant emerald eyeballs. She's so cute. All right, we need more. We need more something here. Yeah. Okay, tiny bit more. All right, are we done? Now, where do we stand? Where can we stand for this? Okay, that's good. I'll stop picking on that now. And us, where are we gonna go? We're gonna shrink down over here. We're gonna shrink down. I want to make sure we see the bunny. Oh, that's good. I think that looks fine. That looks fine. Whoop! Something's coming. I'm gonna assume that since this bonus diamond thing is over on the 29th, that maybe we're gonna see our next Jessica Rabbit. Was it a surprise? Hey, but were you into it because you like redheads? So I'm wondering. That was a surprise. I actually thought she was a smexy and a shocker to me when I was a kid. I'm gonna give her that. In 5 days, we have a new event, character Grace, and she has blue hair. She's like, her whole body is see-through like jelly. What is she? An extra special winter event. Oh, coming soon with snowballs. The parallel. I'm so happy we're gonna do this. Wait, I gotta make a thumbnail. You will forgive me for a thumbnail. You know I make thumbnails. Okay, hang on. We're gonna get black and blue. We're all black and blue. Like that. And like that. Okay. I'm just gonna make one thumbnail and then we're gonna get it. Oh, we gotta plan this. I'm gonna talk strategy. I'll figure the rest of this out later. Yay. All right, that's good. I'm gonna keep that. And we're gonna shrink down again and get out of our way. We've got to get her. And because she has blue hair, you know I love blue hair everything. Well, nicely kept hair. But I love blue hair. So it's my favorite color. I got to get it. Yeah. Okay, so in 5 days, what does that mean for us? What is today, Friday? On a Wednesday? No, a Thursday. Because 15 hours. Either Wednesday or Thursday next week. I'm going to do a promo for this. Because we gotta win. We gotta win. This is enough silly business. Okay, so let me show you my strategy here. This is great. Okay, Shibuki. Okay, look at this. I have 14 diamonds. I need at least 20 because 10 is the minimum. And ideally, we have 50 saved, not used up here at the top so that we can buy the alternate currency as soon as we go into the game on day 1 to try to speed up getting a ×2 or a ×8 right away. We got to do one right away with all this stuff. But I know 10 might only get us 2 or 3. But 20 would get us more. And 50 gets us 60 of the currency to buy those ×2, ×8 speed bump things. So, and that means the 30th or the 31st. Yeah, the 30th. Okay, Esper, we want to get her clothes. Oh, I don't have enough. We need to take 4. Okay, 2 and 2. At least we're going to get the diamonds. I'm going to try for as many diamonds as I can. So do this event, this reward event every day. And make sure you show up to get to click on the diamonds. Wow, okay. Here it is. Yay. It's going to be snowballs will be the currency. That's just terrific. Okay, here's all the girls that I have now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I got Eero this morning. Bonnie Bell. We're forever waiting for Iconoclast. Hayika, she wants her designer bags. And we're waiting for Angst, which is still running. Fumi, waiting for computers, which is still running. We've been waiting for these things to roll over. And your favorite Beverly has rolled over. Here we go. She's playing peekaboo. Needs Angst as well. I'm going to just boop her nose. Boop. All right. Can we take her to the movies? Oh, no, don't do that. We need 6 extra. I'm just going to do it. Turning off the zoo. Movie theater. How fast will this go? Not too bad. It's just hilarious that it's a giant silhouette for her watching the sad panda on the screen. Woohoo! Beverly can do no wrong. I know how much you're loyal to her now. That's hilarious. Come on, Beverly. We're voting for you. Okay, this is not so painful. This is a good speed. Didn't take too long. That's great. Okay. And now we're going to give back those 6. Okay. Now, designer bags is what she wants, but Aika wants designer bags. She wants 50 of them. She only wants 10. Let's give her the bags for a little while. Oh, 5, 10. No, we can't give her 10. Now this, I just did that. I don't have enough gems for this right now, but I'm doing the gem first, like the diamond, then I'll deal with the 60-minute hobby skip later. That 5 is going to go over there. That's what I'm doing. Diamonds first. Designer bags. How many can we get, Beverly, today? Oh, maybe not 10? Seven. But that'll reboot pretty fast, I think. So we can't get her a new car yet, but she's on her way. I know you like this one too, eh? This one and Beverly are your favorites, I'm guessing. Shoes. This is Alpha. See, she's a spirit in the karaoke machine. Stupid Aika. So mean. Shh, don't tell her I said that. Double checking. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, the shoes. Only 5 shoes for you. These things are so expensive now. Oh, she got 6 shoes. And I'm moving on. Pamu, still waiting to be a BA. That's been running for a while. Alright, then we're moving on down to Shibuki, our ninja who wants cake. I like her cutout pants, by the way. I'm not sorry I like them either. We get 10 pieces of cake, and we're moving on. Peanut. Still waiting for our Atlantean king, Momoa, the lifeguard, to show up. Oh, girl, you're going to wait a long time for that. Oh, we're not even running it right now. Is there anything I can give up? No. Let me see. Lifeguard. We'll do that for now. Oh, but we need the zoo. And we need the art. Oh. Decisions. Okay, go back. Don't look again. And then here's the best one that earned me a lot of these diamonds leveling her. Because we haven't leveled her before, so she can get us diamonds. She's interesting to look at, eh? Falling out of her shirt and everything. All she's waiting for is tenderness, which I've been running for 2 days now. Let me see where it is. Tenderness has to be 45. Oh, 3 hours, and she will pop. So we'll just have to come back another time. We're going to leave her there. I'm going to boop her nose. Boop. And we're going to move on. I'm so excited. We have a new event coming. Yay. So I'm saving up as many of these diamonds as I can. Going to remember every day to do the little Esper outfit event to get those diamonds. Because I think if we could get at least 20 by that time, that would be really great. That'll help us do something a little faster. Okay. Now we're going to check the blush world. Do 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 do. I don't think there's much I can do in there right now. So the Hog Dimitri, who we saw in the Queen Bee coffee shop with her sister Lotus, he wants us to now reset 100 times. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to do it. The boys have a sale, but they never do. They never do a special event, so I don't understand. A lot of these want smart. She is, and I like her hair color too. Save what? Oh, claim right away. There's so little that's running that I'm not going to do the other thing. I'll just do, okay, so we got him. We got him. This one's not to the +1 that we need, but it takes so much to buy these tickets. 8 billion, we're at 1. Like, it's been days. I'm tired of waiting to put him in a bathing suit. Making me wait like that. Alright. I don't like this guy's personality or anything. I'm not into this at all. But I did buy him a drone once. Just one. This guy I like because of his buff arms here. Waiting for smart. Dimitri just wants too much. And he's mean to his sister, so I'm ignoring him. And this guy wants smarts. Nothing I can do with them. Smart and peaceful are the only things I'm running. I really don't have a lot running right now. You can see it's been easier for me to get gems on this side for some reason. Alright, here's a phone conversation. I try to clear most of these conversations so I don't have to see them anymore. This is the guy who's Kelby's friend. So he's the baseball player. Kelby's the basketball player. They know each other somehow in their world. This guy's really not interested in us. He just wanted to drum up volunteer support for his baseball fundraiser things. Oh. That's a Coca-Cola. That's a Coca-Cola. Okay. I don't know. Hilarious. Okay. Alright, take it easy, man. Thanks for chatting. Hey. It's funny when they have new conversations that start right away, but I know this is almost over because there's no longer those cues that look like divisions, fractions. It's almost done. And then it will be over unless we pay to replay it. I don't know why people do that. I guess if you give different answers, you get different outcome answers or responses. I don't know. Like a choose your own adventure. Exactamundo. Saucy boy. He's yammering. You like the word yakking. Do you like the word yammering? It's yammering. Stop talking, boy. Send me pictures. Oh, we're being all mushy with him. I missed you. Like, I always thought in my head, like, if these guys all know each other, then isn't it awkward that they all know you're dating everybody? I don't know. A bunch of fries. That's what we're talking about? Come on. Hand me your bottle of Coke. I'm thirsty. Oh my goodness. Hello, Dr. Frederick. We've played some fun games. We're getting a date with a baseball player now. We've met a firefighter in here. This guy just talks a lot about food, though. How are you doing tonight? My number 1 and number 2 fans, thank you so much. He's telling me all these guys are pretty close. He knows Kelby. I know that he and Kelby are friends. You want to meet? You want me to meet your family? Yeah. I just don't know. Sometimes we're a little bit too sassy. Look, he doesn't want to be trapped. Let him go. He got a cloud of butterflies in his stomach. Aw, he came back with a really good save. Meet both my families, the one I chose and the one that brought me into this world. What about Fanrose? I don't even know what half this conversation is because I don't have my glasses on, but I'm guessing here. You bet your bottom dollar. No, this character we're talking to on this phone right now knows Kelby, who's over there, the third guy on the menu on the dark corner of this screen. Oh, I thought this would be over. They're really carrying this on without having any more cues for how many messages there will be. I thought this meant we were at the end. But he seems to have a lot to say. Okay, here are his pictures. It's not what you think from afar. And then this is him. And he's a friend of Kelby, who is the basketball player. If you have a magic way to make time go faster, I would do it. They're meta-popping us again. Come on, stop talking, man. I hate being on phone calls, even in the real world. I don't answer my phone half the time. It drives everyone crazy, except me. There we go. Bye. We're not going to open this door. All right, bye, sir. Is there anything else? Oh, Logan. Okay, here's a firefighter. Do you have a Logan? Let me show you this firefighter guy. Look at him. There, we got someone with a job now, finally. So he got a cat out of a tree. What? Oh, that's the cat that Beaverly... What? When Beaverly chased us, the marshmallow was hugging the cat in the branches, looking down at Beaverly. Do you remember that? That's the cat. So he got them out of the tree. We must have gotten out of the tree after Beaverly ran away and left the cat in there, or the cat went up again. The only employed man. Yeah. Someone with a car. Look out for that. So now I see more context for that little kitty cat. And there's a girl who plays with little pandas, red pandas. Okay, I'm kind of tired of this. Hurry up, sir. Hurry up, sir. Stop talking to me. Oh, good. He stopped talking to me. Yay. Christmas tree farm he has. Okay. That's it for that. We can't do that right now. Okay, so are we down at the bottom? Is that it? There's nothing else. I am working on trying to pop open whoever the next guy is with peaceful. Let me see, did I do that? Yeah. And smart, 2 different characters need smart. But most of them don't need a thing from us. Just waiting to level. This guy, he's too expensive. I don't like him anyways. And the tickets are too expensive. So that's all I can do for a crush or blush. That's it. And we're going to leave now. Bye. And that's everything. So now I'll bring the birthday girl back out here to the center stage with Bunny. So we know from Venus Game Na last week that Tishy Adams and Bunny actually are a real married couple here in the game world with us. They are real gamers. And Tishy Adams is the one that's come here and played games like Diablo and Warcraft Rumble, and she's done the mixology recipe blitzes with us a couple times. Legit bartender, so getting some of her own recipes when she's done those shows with us. And that's it, yeah. So happy birthday, Tishy Adams. Is there anything in particular anyone would like to talk about tonight before we head out for the evening? Is anybody out there sleepy yet? Does anybody have a ghost story or a joke they'd like to share? I'm coughing. Dum 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 dum. You enjoy talking? Oh, okay. So, Fan Rose, thank you. I know you're an hour ahead of us in your time zone. Thank you for playing the games with us. It's been so much fun. Oh. All right, please share your anecdote, Dr. Frederick. Fan Rose, thank you for being here. I'm going to wish you a good night's sleep. I'm so happy you love the games. And if you guys think of anything, you can always come back on your own time if you want to pick new topics for the questions. And what we can do, since it worked better to have 3 topics with 3 questions for each topic, we'll keep that theme. But you guys can just tell me what theme you want the questions to fall under. All right, Dr. Frederick, you have an anecdote for us. But the last time I was on a plane and the starting mechanism was broken, so they announced they'd have to start it manually with a machine. Are you saying a matchla? Matchla? With a mock? I don't even know what that word is. With an ignition key? Or go out and like swing the propeller with their hands without chopping their heads off and their fingers off. Oh, big fan to blow air through it. Are you a professor for real? When it means doctor, do you mean you're like a thinky, schooled person? You, Professor? Dr. Frederick? Are you a lit professor? Oh. I found it scary when I found out from a friend who was a pilot that they don't even pilot the planes anymore. They're all on computers and they're just computer tracking automatically. That scares me. There's been some close calls out there in the skies. What kind of engineering? Mechanical? Space? Agricultural? Computer engineering is fun. You can work for UB Games. Have a wonderful night, Fanrose. Thank you for being here and playing all the games with me and inspiring them too. Yay. Well, that makes me scared to know that about planes. What if the computers go down in a glitch and then you can't take over because it's glitched? That's very scary. I don't have a plane story today, but once on a train in the winter in the north, we couldn't stop because the gears were frozen with ice on them. So we had to careen through a town. And it would take hours before it melted enough as we got further south to be able to pull the brakes and chug ourselves back to the town in the other direction. It took a few hours. That cost me a plane ride home for Christmas one year. So what I did was, because I was cheap and mad and tired, is I sat in a very fancy hotel lobby. Every once in a while when they changed shift, I'd take an apple to eat the apple. They were watching me for eating their apples. I just sat in the lobby and all these drunk party goers were coming around talking to me, asking me to come with them in. And then I just sit there with my luggage in the lobby. I'd roll it with me to a table and then I'd roll back to the lobby and eat another apple. All night long until the next day. I had to pay extra money for another ticket. Didn't make it home in time for Christmas. I made it home in time for Boxing Day. And then the next day I had to leave again. It cost me days. I have a new appreciation for the John Candy movie with Martin. Is it not Martin Short? No, it's the other guy, somebody Martin. For Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I totally feel their pain. I literally had my hands on the window with my nose and forehead on the glass, and we beamed it through a major city. It was there and it was gone. And I'm like, I'll never get home to my family. I only laugh now. Yeah, I dare say because pilots can like get drunk and party all night with their stewardesses or passengers they pick up along the way. And then I do think the company does pay for their hotels to stay in though. And then they're sitting behind the wheel of or whatever of the plane. Is it a wheel? Handlebars? So I guess the computers might be more accurate, but still I'd like to know they could look around with their eyeballs and use their hands to steer that thing and pull the brakes the right way so we don't all crumple to pieces. Oh. So do you fly planes? Why do you know about planes? Just for fun? I find that interesting in places in the States where you can own a little plane and you can like you have a road built for you to drive your little planes in and out of your garages. Also, I feel the same way about people with boats and boathouses. Hmm. That's very nice. I was like that. There were certain classes I get caught for skipping because it wasn't because of the teacher or the subject. It was because of the bullying to avoid people who were cruel and fellow students. And so I would get detention sometimes. And I used detention to find anthropology books. And I would look up all of the rituals for the rites of passage of going from childhood to adulthood from all the cultures of the world. That was porn to me. That's shocking and interesting at the same time. And I'd read about all around the world, all their different ideas about all those kinds of rituals. Hmm. Yeah. Interesting. Ching, ching, ching. Yeah, I don't know when I'll ever be on a plane again in my lifetime. I think I can no longer afford to travel with all the rising prices for things. And I really, really had hope that I would be able to go and see Universal's new Harry Potter world, the Paris um, Ministry of Magic stuff with Dolores Umbridge as the villain. I wanted to see it, but now the prices are such that I just can't do it anymore. Hmm. Oh yeah, that makes sense because to get into your characters and to help other people understand what's going on in your stories, to visualize it, that makes sense. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I have collected a few strange travel stories. So I've been on four of the Ice Road Trucker Show roads in my life before I ever saw Ice Road Trucker shows or that movie was made, that horror movie about Ice Road Truckers. But I've been on four of them and knew them when I saw them in the show before they tell us where they were. I'd already knew because I'd been there so often. There's a way that people, when you get ready to go on these frozen lakes in the wintertime, um, it's, you say, get in a position. And then the driver would say, promise me that if we go in and you get out, you'll come back for me. Don't let me drown. And then you open the door slightly and everyone holds their door slightly open. You keep all your windows rolled down so you can get out, and you take off your seatbelts so that if something happens, you get out right away and you're not strapped in and you're not stuck. Yeah. I was reading through some old books of my mom's, romance books, and one of the funny thing to me was what stuck out is people's use of words and phrases from other languages to show that they're, I guess, cultured and make it a more exotic story. And yet sometimes you're like, that doesn't work there. Why would they say that word? That's not what they're describing. That doesn't fit. It'll always stick out like a sore thumb to me. But for people who maybe will never leave the town they were born in, and there's still many like that out there today, it's a way for them to like learn something about the rest of the world, things that they don't have access to. So for that, it's pretty helpful tool for the author to reach out and engage their reading audience. I think my hat looks like invisible on this screen. Okay. I don't think I have anything else to show in my background today. Is there anything on your mind? Are you having a good week? I hope you're having a good week. There, I like this flower. There, we're inside a tidal wave of a flower. That's all right. I just want to make this a little bigger. There we go. That looks lovely. Ding, 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 ding. Well, in our Venus Game Na 2.0 tonight, we did a bunch on backstory and mythology. It's actually pretty informative. So if you get a chance to go back and have a look at that, I would recommend. That's pretty fun. Oh yeah, you have been out visiting family lately. I remember you talking about that last time I saw you. I will be visiting Tishy Adams for her birthday next Friday, which will be very lovely. Yay. Yeah, do take a look when you have time. Also, if you would like to suggest themes for my questions, we decided I had too many themes last time. So this week I only used 3 themes with 3 questions per theme. So would you like to pick any of the themes for the questions in a Game Na 3.0? Also, we were playing, I don't know if you know this TikTok trend. It was last year, so I'm a year behind myself. But I did, when I opened the show today, Rose and I were playing with Hear Me Out, which is like it's a cake. And you have to put pictures on the cake of the non-human crushes you have, like on anime characters, cartoon characters, just fake characters. And so I did that today, too, in the show, which might be funny for you to see. And if you give me the information for who you'd put on your cake, I could make a visual for you, but then you have to be here to explain it. So I'd have to sit on the idea until you're there to explain it on the next Tuckin' and Chill. But those are just ideas. Oh, by the way, have you noticed that I've started to post some fencing memes? One every 2 to 3 days is coming out until the first week of August. In case you haven't noticed that yet. And I think they're cute since I can't make videos for myself to find a way to have motion for me to swordplay with the gifts who can fence or swordplay. It was a spoof. We know I'm not good with the digital arts or anything, but I'm hoping you enjoyed them. There were just a couple because I found that a lot of the jokes led to the same ending, so I just picked the one I liked the best. So that is a nod to you. And I think in the first episode, I dedicated it to you as well. Just so you know, I do listen. I'm hard-headed, but I do actually listen to people. Sure, I do. I used to be a coach. I was actually offered the chance to be an assistant coach for the first girls' women's Olympic hockey team by the men who watched me grow up playing hockey, because Canada didn't want to have all men ushering in this women's sport, and they knew there were women in the sport as girls. And unfortunately, at the time, I was studying in another country. My father really didn't want me to quit university to come and do that, which I was upset about when I found out. I lost the opportunity to be in the Olympics that way. But yeah, I used to be a coach. I used to be on farm teams, and I also coached kids. I've coached kids since I was a kid myself. Okay, well, what I know is you need to lunge. You need to have really good thigh muscles. You need to take care of your knees. I would have you get into bone broth or those collagen broth stuff, things that will help you build your collagen, like protect it. You can't build it. It won't heal if you've ripped it, but try to avoid those surgeries if you can. Knee braces if you must. But work on your calf muscles, work on your thigh muscles, but then also do something that will lengthen it so you don't just build in bulk and become a sprinter with a tight. Um, you need to like limber it up, kind of like in Rocky, where the guy got them into swim, yoga, stretching. I hate yoga, but so I swim. In addition to anything that builds your muscles and your balance. Also working on your hand-eye coordination for that. Oh, I played everything. I was a kid that if I never played it before and you stick me in a new environment, by the end of that day, people would swear I'd been playing it all along. They didn't know that it was new to me. I could pick up on it. I'm a kinesthetic learner. I did uneven bars, balance beam, the horse. I actually like doing the rings, but that was the boy sport. But in jungle gyms, I hung from things all the time. I hung from trees. But swimming, I and my siblings were sprint on the Team Canada farm team for sprinting. They recruited my brother and wanted to recruit me for diving. One of us went to Prague and brought home gold for our country. One of us went to the summer games. I qualified for summer games. The one went for winter games. Our parents were coaches. Yeah. Also, I'd say never smoke. Don't run incense in your house. Keep the smoke out of your lungs. If you do smoke, cut it out, and it'll take twice as long for you to clear all the crud out of your lungs that you put in it. But do it anyways. Clean air. So it also means, listen, you won't expect this advice from me. Keep the dust out of your house. Vacuum, mop, pine sol, vinegar. You want to do it naturally. But don't let things be cluttered and collect dust, because that's your breathing. And you want to be able to get as much oxygen into your blood as you can naturally. And also that means drinking clear water, clean water. Ice cubes are food. You want to see that label on your ice cubes. Put more ice in your drinks. Crush it up. Use your Magic Bullet, California blender, whatever you've got, to get that oxygen in your system and breathe better. Learn how to breathe deep. Dancing is a nice, fun activity. Your posture matters. With hand-eye coordination, there's different exercises you could do for your eyes. Juggling. Yeah, hand-eye coordination. Because if you lose your grip, right, you're going to have to recover without slicing your fingers off. And your grip. Squeeze a tennis ball regularly. Use those triangular grips. I think they're just called grips. They look like triangles with one end missing, and you have to squeeze them. Build that strength. Eat carrots for your eyesight. And if you can afford it, if you can get the benefits, get your eyes checked. And don't sit too close to your monitors and screens. Save your eyes. Okay, do you juggle with scarves? If I'm teaching little kids, I start with scarves before we use balls or any other thing, flying objects. Sometimes I've used rubber chickens. Just because it's silly. Bean bags. I use bean bags for juggling. Also, I don't know what they call it, but in gymnastics, when they do those routines with a ball or a hoop or a ribbon, or you can pick those things that look like bowling pins, but they call it I think they call it maces. You're juggling. I found always those were fascinating parts of the Olympics. You know what? I'm terrible at singing, but I will do it. I'll do it unabashedly, and I'm not sorry. I will punish you with my voice. If I like you, I will not sing happy birthday. However, in the case of today's video for Tishy, it's because I couldn't make the AI do it for me. I had to do it. But if you're having fun, then just do it, and who cares if you're good at it? I mean, why do we have to be perfect? That ruins it. And have a sense of humor. Yeah, gymnastics routines. I would think breathing rhythm. Getting all your lungs full of air. The deep lung breathing. I don't know. The stamina would be important. And that's oxygen in the blood. Very helpful. I would also tighten up stomach muscles. I would work on your abs. And I would work on doing the splits. Like, lie down on the floor with your butt on the wall, pretending the butt is the floor. Get your legs up there. It's a ballet thing. And you just let gravity take your legs open to the floor, right? And then you build your stamina in doing that. But then eventually you get someone to come along and you cross your fingers. And then you place it in the center of, like, between your hip sockets and your knees, like on your thighs, and just go boop, like a little poke down 1 inch. And everything tends to, like, fall open more, or at least for females it does. And then eventually you'll be able to, like, be doing the full splits on the wall with gravity being, and you can just read a book while you're waiting. But sometimes if you're learning to do this and you get up to 20 minutes, you may need someone to take your wrist and pull you off the wall for the first little bit. Don't panic. But I think because you have to do so many lunges and you want that lean ballerina muscles, would be helpful for springy, sprightly people. Personally, I don't think I'd be fast enough with those skinny little blades to see where the point is going. But I do know, like, when practicing, first thing that everybody has practiced is continually lunging while we get that little point, the little ball on the end of our skinny little sword, to hit the little chalk X on the wall over and over again. Hit it in the middle, hit it in the middle, hit it in the middle, lunge, lunge, lunge. When you say music and sword fighting, I just keep thinking of Madonna in one of those James Bond movies where she was this, I'm going to say, crotchety fencing master or something. And I just feel like it didn't suit. We didn't really watch her do any fencing. She's just posing around while she gets laced up in these big corsets. I think she just wanted to be in a lacy corset. I don't know. Oh, because that's the center of the control. See, when I play sports, I watch the center of the chest, not their head. So when they're trying to deke you, that's the biggest piece of like a guy, because they're usually broader there. And when they're trying to deke you and stuff, you keep aiming at the breastplate, you're still going to hit them. No matter how fast they move, if you're aiming right. Trying to find my magnifying. I've lost my magnifying glass. It's very hard for me to read some of the words. To the fastest point. Well, I hope you enjoy the memes that I found for you. I think they're cute and funny. I just keep thinking of samurai versus ninja star. Samurai sword, ninja star. A deadly game of baseball with metal blades. You're going to see in the memes I made just how focused I am on the center. Well, the sword and the star could be the boy and the girl. I've got 2 trees I groomed out of being bushes into trees, and they're now over like 30 feet tall, but one is shorter and fatter and the other is taller and slimmer, so I call them the sword and the shield. And it's interesting because the shield is the one facing the northeast and the sword is more southwest. So one shelters the other from the frost, but they become trees that now house cardinals. So since I love nature so much, and I have a green thumb, I was really so happy to see that cardinals have taken home in those trees that used to be bushes for years and years. Well, I give you permission to write for that title. And I do promise I haven't forgotten about the Finch story. I've got it split up into slides. I have to make the pictures myself because I messed around with a bunch of different AI and it was just wasting time. I wasn't getting the visuals I see in my head. So I'm not going to be able to show what's in my head when I read your story, but I will show something. And I was thinking to model it after one of those romance club, the Hell and High Water novel that I was narrating from 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So I haven't forgotten, just so that you know. Yeah, I use them. Put them the way I did to be like a gate, like a natural gateway to walk under or walk through from one place to another inside a garden area. I used to design and build gardens too. I like that stuff. I love nature. I love trees. I love lying down in the grass and looking up at the tree leaves contrasted or blending with the color of the sky behind it. I've always loved that kind of a view, usually blending one tree that's more to the silvery green and one that's like the red maples, for example. I love that. Oh, yeah, you were supposed to give me a picture I could use to represent you, and until then, I'm still using the doctor picture. So, I don't know if you saw yet, but there is a Dr. Frederick in one of my memes for fencing. You're there with me. I brought you with me. Yeah, I'm sorry. So I want to explain something for you so that you know. Around the time that you presented your story to me was also a week where I got a blow of news that changes the direction of my life. And in this past month, I've really been scrambling and making decisions. And I'm going to be moving. And and so it's like the memes and stuff are easy and fast for me to like pump out really fast. So I have something and I preloaded things so that I have some days to really think of the bigger projects and give them some care. So it's been a struggle for me to like, I haven't even like gone out and just been done to a barbecue or the beach or swimming this month, which really makes me sad because this month is almost over. So I finally yesterday bought a swim pass for 1 month so that I at least remember to at least swim. And because I'm burning really badly for the first year of my life outside, back in June, it burnt for like 3 weeks, and I'm a person that always tanned. So I've been choosing to swim indoors, which usually makes me sad because I'm not in nature, but it's not worth burning and destroying my skin and being in pain all the time. So don't be sorry, but I just want you to know why it's taken so long, because I didn't want it to take this long, but in between I've been messing around with ideas for how to develop it and how to do an intro and stuff. And this intro that I showed tonight is a result because the fan thing didn't work. I don't have the type of machinery or technology to hold things in place while I move the fan and take another picture, move a fan. Like I need a crane or something to clamp onto it. And I tried to build something with duct tape and pieces of cardboard boxes, but it was not working. So I abandoned it. So, but I did make that cool throne room kind of intro with the eagle and the moon, like Jupiter spinning. And anyways, I have an outro for it, and I have a mid, like I'm on a break, coming back soon kind of thing. But I may not develop those two. But I do have the intro one already ready to go, and that was part of trying to give something to like frame your story with, make it more official. But it will happen on a Friday night, I promise. I forgot that there were no more Fridays in July because I was aiming for maybe next week. But I'm still making some big decisions, and I have to like change a bunch of stuff around, notify, because I'm going to move. So I have to notify all whatever's involved in moving and all that business, moving things around. And I'm going through my stuff and trying to let go of whatever I can to like lighten the load, because I really didn't intend to move again, but I will be. So, hopefully not a big delay, because I'm preloading things so that when that time comes, hopefully, if I have to disappear for a couple days from live shows or a week, because I don't know how long it takes to set up Wi-Fi somewhere else. That's kind of a thing, that I at least will have something to entertain you guys and something new and fresh every day until I get back online. Yeah. So that's kind of been going on. A big scramble, lots of meetings, lots of physio, lots of other kind of specialist appointments. Trying to take care of my health while I've got benefits as much as I can, as fast as possible. Yeah. So that's part of the delay. I really did need to put that first. Like I'm not even playing WoW, and that was the thing that drew the best crowd of watching me stream. And it hurts also not being it, because I may have lost my guild to other people that are in there more. and I don't want to lose my guild, but I just couldn't put the money on a subscription right now, and I didn't get a WoW token, as I mentioned before, so it's like I'm letting it ride. And you'd think that at this time of year would be the time where I could actually spend the time streaming that kind of stuff, but I just had to keep my money for more important stuff right now, and so it has impacted my show, it has impacted what I'm streaming, but I think it's still been interesting, and there's always so much creativity whenever I mash heads with you guys and on nights like this, and come out of it with so many new creative ideas to interrupt the stuff I'm already doing. And I've never really had the time to come back to stuff I was trying out before. Like, I keep going through my Google Slides to see how many things I started and never finished with. So if I ever hit a creative block, I could totally just go back and finish things I already had mapped out. There's some things I may never do. But yeah, and I did send you an email just to let you know I haven't forgotten it. It's not that I haven't done stuff with it. It's just I didn't like what was being produced, so I kept scrapping things. And I think I have to do something more simple. I think I make things too complicated because I don't know how to use digital art stuff to make pictures. If I could rig myself, I would. If I could draw myself, I'd show me, and I'd draw different scenes and stuff for thumbnails, but I can't do it. Not successfully, not beautifully. So that's why things take a little longer sometimes. But it will happen. Because I so do appreciate it, and I want you to know that. I think I want you to know this. When I read it, and I've read it a couple of times now, I see it in my head. Like, I have a vision of what Finch looks like. I have a vision of the card. I have a vision of the landscape and the weather and the sounds in my head. And I just can't recreate what's in my head. Which is part of also the delay. But that I can see it in my head means I really enjoyed the writing. So what I'm going to end up showing isn't what I originally wanted to show, because I can't do the characters. So I'm going to do it based more like this style that you see on Come Hell and High Water in the romance novels, where it's more environmental stuff. Like, we'll call it bird's eye views of the environment around the characters as opposed to the characters, with sound effects. That's what I decided last week I'm going to have to do instead. I just haven't stylized it. I haven't found what I want to use yet, but I am going to. I am going to make it more simple than I wanted to do. And then one day, when I have learned how to do this, because I'm learning every year something new, I can always redo it, like re-debut it with the different illustrations later, because I have done that with some of my earlier works. Last year, I remade my very original stories with different, with me in it, with my avatar in it, because originally, when I made my YouTube channel, it's older than my shows are. So, because for a few months, I made it to hold the name, and then a few months later, I had to start doing something. So the timers and the photographs I took around the world with my own face, but then I'd run them through the a creative generator. I forgot the name of it now, which turns it into like drawings or paintings or portraits or some kind of Corel Draw sort of thing, to make it look like illustrations. Then I'd monochrome the colors, and that's the Brave Immortal Soul series, the only one where I still haven't changed that. But in other earlier episodes, I did redo them with my avatar last year. This year, I'm not doing that anymore. I ended up redoing all the things that I could have redone. So now it's all fresh stuff. But I'm never running out of new ideas. And when I talk to you guys give me feedback. And so there's so many new things I'm always starting. We're not finishing other things, which means I can always fall back to them later. Yeah, and don't feel obligated. Please come here when you just have fun. Hang out and have fun. And know that you will always end up in my door games. Well, yes, but if you're able to draw your character, I'm trying to get Tishy to do the same. She can draw. She's just shy about it. If you guys can make your own icons to represent you, then I'll use your pictures instead of the ones I picked out. Because I just have like an idea in my head that associates to the names you guys use, your handles online. So, of course, you got the white lab coat. Although I did put you once in a swimsuit. It was a Speedo. But I was surprised how many jokes I could find about fencing because I never thought of thinking about that before. So you will see them popping every couple of days until the first week of August. And I think they're cute. I think I did a cute job on it to make it look fun. Yeah. All right, I think I'm going to change my view one more time before we go today. Oh, not you, not you. Hang on. Gotta save that one. I want to get up and close and personal with you. All right, here we go. Bye, Tishy. Bye-bye. Oh, she might come back. So I've been binge watching Z Nation a little bit. There we go. I like my beret. Oh, and I got my chalice here. Sorry, Tishy. That doesn't look right. Okay, no. We're going to do this again. Hello. Hi, Duck. Oh, say, so do you have a theme for questions in my Game Na 3.0 that I can make for next week? Oh, that doesn't look bad. That looks kind of artsy. Yeah. I don't know why I look fuzzy, though. That bothers me. I don't know. It's so hard to get a nice, clear picture for my memes and stuff. Like, I don't know why that's happening. I'm always humming this now. Oh, la 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 la. Oh, well. All right. So coming up next week on Tuesday night, we're going to have a page out of Aika's cookbook. It's going to be a really good dinner menu. I can't wait to eat it. So you like sports as a topic? We did have it on last week, actually. We could do that again. For the game Na? Well, there are characters in WoW that can walk on ice. We'll have to think about this. Okay, now, what I don't know about you is, do you play any of the video games that I play? So I play a lot of the Blizzard games. I play the Steam games, Roblox games, all the Sad Panda Universe games apparently have taken an interest for me this summer. Every summer is a little different for me. I try to pick something new. Last year I was a mermaid a lot. I think I should have done that this year. But, you know, it happens through my cooking. I was doing a lot of seafood cooking last year. This year, I'm with the Crush Crush girls. Oh my goodness, I've yawned. I'm yawning. Ice skating for July? Do you live in Australia? I know when we have summer, they have winter. Are you a New Zealander? I have to think about this now. That was one big truck. Maybe I'll do one about outdoor games. Ironic. Well, you know I'm a frost death knight. I could turn any pool into an ice zone at any moment. Just snap my fingers. Okay, you have to go and find an ice bar. My sister took me to one in Rome where they carved out the ice. So like, and when you walk in, they have this giant like stuffy acorn with a little stuffy squirrel that you could take pictures with. And you go in and they carve the benches you sit in out of ice. And they carve the glasses you drink from into like martini glass shaped ice. So you can eat the glass afterwards if you like nibbling on ice. And all the drinks you get put into these ice cups to drink them. You walk around and they and like the artwork on the walls are like busts cut into ice, like ice sculptures of people's faces and stuff. And the bar is ice. Now there's certain elements that they have like tabletop surfaces and bar surfaces. The cash register is not ice. The cash they collect is not ice, but an ice bar is definitely a cooling experience. I think it's so cool. And you can go there in the middle of winter and like you're hot. It's so hot. It's so hot in Rome in the middle of the summer. You go in there and you feel so much better. So much better. Ice bars. See if there's one in your area. You never know. Look it up. Or plan a trip to go to one. I'm sure the United States would have a bunch. Or in certain places. I'm trying to think if... I know there was another one. There must be one in Florida. Because for some reason I think I went to an ice bar in the States. I'm thinking the only places I mainly traveled to in the past decade are New York, Florida, and maybe California. I don't know. But I'm sure maybe you guys have one. At least one. So I have a friend who's Inuit. And they moved to visit me when I was working in northern somewhere. Anyway, south of 60, but up in the north. But they're so high up. They're from the Arctic. And they came down to visit me south of the Arctic, but north of any major city that borders the American borders. Because most of us live close to the border. So they found weather where I'm wearing a light jacket, they were sweating uncontrollably. It was too hot for them. So they couldn't do our summer in like, say the Toronto area. They couldn't do it. You literally have to keep feeding them ice and sit on an ice block or something because their body's so not used to this weather. And up there, they're just acclimatized because that's been their whole life up in the Arctic Circle. So I found that fascinating where I would think it's like light jacket weather. They're sweating like a pig. And what I think is hot, I think they'd pass out. But then, I'm not built for Vegas. That desert heat, I was passing out. I was like literally falling over, having to catch myself because I was doing mini pass outs from the heat. I literally want to take my boobs and put them on a shelf because I just need to get me off myself because it was too hot. And I'm the type of northerner that stands in front of a freezer in the summertime because it's too hot. Maybe you can join me in that practice. Go stand in front of a freezer, open it, and just let it all cool you down. It's wonderful. But also why I'm constantly adding ice to my drinks. Because I overheat super fast. Well, okay, so when I lived in the north, we still had blizzards on June the 5th. But by July, at best, it would be like jacket weather. But no, I'd never see anyone go shirtless because exposure could kill you. But you could have snow around your feet in places where it piled up and hasn't all melted while you're walking around in your jacket, light jacket, t-shirts. Detachable bus. Let me tell you, more of us would be jogging if we could just take these babies off and just put them on when we need to go to like a special event. Because jogging is not our friend, and it's like you're being pounded by, well, water bags every time you land in any pace you make. It hurts, and it ruins our muscle tissues. They tear and everything falls down. Or you're so fit that nothing is there, because once you lose all that body fat that came in with your what do they call it, baby fat, when you hit your puberty, and then it all disappears and you shoot up like a beanpole. Once that's lost, it never comes back in. Like, speaking as a female athlete, certain things never come back, or they don't come back the same way. While other things, like inner thighs, if you've been an athlete all your life and then you've got that year where you break something and you have to sit down in a cast, and your thighs suddenly say, hello, you're a woman. Hello, all your ancestors are right here. Ah, we found you. Like, that happens. It's terrible. Hate it. And you're never the same. Yeah. I remember a boyfriend of mine that didn't have the best temper. And sometimes when he'd come in at the end of the day and had a bad day, you just don't want to talk to him. Like, he just wants to be left alone. And don't talk to him. Don't greet him. Don't come up and try to hug him. Nothing. So what I would do is I would put on my tiniest, like, Daisy Duke little shorts and put on, like, high two pigtails like a cheerleader, because I had bigger hair back then, and just wear my birthday suit on top, and I would just be on the trampoline and wait for him to notice, and he would. And he'd maybe sit down looking all pissy and grumpy. You better not say anything. I just have a big smile on my face and jump up and down. But I can tell you I could feel it. And if he made me mad, I could just like shake my shoulders and smack him so hard in the face with them. And he wouldn't know whether to be confused, angry, or turned on. And that confusion would make him just shut up and stop sulking. And then he would forget why he was so mad. Mission accomplished. Then I'd go in and, make dinner. That's the kind of girlfriend I used to be. Kitchen's closed now. I still have the trampoline, though. And I'm wearing a ponytail right now. Wow, some things never change. That's so funny. Yeah. No, I was warned by my dad that because I'm in a female body, I'd have to not feed my sense of hunger and give into it, because by the time you're 18, all the female stuff's going to come on. He said, at most, if you don't feed your hunger and you keep active, which he's always been my biggest promoter of staying active, protect your health, you still won't escape it by your 20s. It will happen. And that makes you slow. Slow makes you dead. But it changes your equilibrium. It changes your balance point. You have to figure out what that is. Like, especially for something like gymnastics, you feel the change. Because I did Toshu ballet, I didn't need to step on a scale, and I'd know when I gained 5 pounds. And I had to get it off because your toes were going to pay. They really did. They bled. They bled. There's a lot of blood in ballerinas' pretty soft pink shoes, let me tell you that. No, I don't do that anymore. I only did it with him because I didn't know how to shut him up when he'd get on a rant. And I didn't want to have life being miserable. And I never was a violent person. I've never slapped or punched anybody. I block things. I trained to be a fighter, but I never attacked people. But I did it for fun. I hate yoga. I hate meditation. I've had a life by myself out in places that are small and isolated. It's too quiet. And then you want me to do what? Sit and pray. Sit in a weird position and stretch. I'd rather do kickboxing, baseball, basketball, volleyball, run, jump, play, make a lot of noise, because it's going to be a day when we don't get to do any of that anymore. And I'm the opposite of this new age self-care wellness pillar where it's all yoga everywhere and they call forest bathing. That's called walking through the woods. That maybe you call that a hike or a jaunt. That's not bathing. Come on. So they can charge money for having nothing to do. Yeah. But it would shut him up. And mission accomplished, you know? How can you complain about the view? You couldn't complain about the view back then. But for women's bodies, the muscles tear pretty easy. I did a lot of running back in the day, and the bouncing and all that. It tears and then everything falls down. And you can't repair that. You can't make it go back up. So some of us, if I could hold them with my hands and go for a jog, I would have jogged. I would have run more. But you can't do that in public and not get in trouble or gawked at or talked about. So it's I'm not going to be adding that. So I did rollerblades because you could, smoothly go down the sidewalk. I really don't have a guide for my conversation right now. Are you sleepy yet? What, are you in my time zone? Or are you after me? Because I know Rose is one ahead of me. One of you is 1 hour behind me. And then Piscon is 3 hours behind me. Yeah. Let me tell you, when I'm trying to do gaming with something that needs a controller, but I don't have a controller, so I need to use the keyboard. And then I've also got this microphone in my way if you want to hear me properly. I need 3 hands. I need 3 hands. And to take pictures of the fan opening so I could have done the intro Cord Rogue and I talked about for your fan fiction, I needed a 3rd hand. I just don't have it. It makes me think of those Shiva type women in the Indian lore that have the 4 to 6 arms. I understand why they need all that. Yeah, we're in the same time zone. I am feeling a bit tired, but I don't want to leave you in a lurch. Is there anything you felt like talking about today before we go, or any requests you have for next week's Tuckin' In Chill? Or the game Nah, if I do the game Nah again. We don't have to do it every week, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. I could try to change it to a different type of game show, but I found that this format works and I can easily copy it and fill it in. Yeah. Okay. Well, just keep an eye out for the fencing memes, because after we talked about it last week, I definitely added, I think I did 3 or 4 of them right away, and I'm sitting on a couple of them. I'm sitting on a couple of jokes right now, just deciding how to populate the visuals. But just know I dedicated the first one to you, and you're going to see your character that I use in door games is depicted with me, because you take me to a fencing match in this meme. So just keep an eye out for that. It's okay, I can help you with that. I hope I'm your muse. I like being a muse. I think it's easier than being amusing. We'll see. But yeah, go with it. I actually realized I was feeling guilty that I wasn't doing enough getting things done here for us to be entertaining and keep it fresh. But then I look at all of the different slide decks that I've got going right now. I think I've got 2 or 3 rows of slide decks of things not finished, or that I could go back to, and things I never finished last year or the year before that I meant to do if I could get myself in the right headspace, which I think might take some time because I'm going through some changes right now, but it's all there. And I pre-posted things for into the first week of August, so in the shorts and the memes, and that I usually don't get the time to do. So that's really a good sign of being a creative. And hashing things out with you guys like this on Friday nights has always led to me doing more things or trying new things, which I've always appreciated. Are you asking if they should have boobs? You know, when I did mine, I asked them not to make me bounce the way some people are bouncing because I wanted to be more decorum. So, like, I don't really bounce. Because in the real world, mine very easily bounce, and I feel like I'm causing a Baywatch moment that could knock someone in an eyeball and make them blind if I don't wear a bra. And I do own real corsets. And I do choose like spandex bathing suits and stuff to suck me in so that I'm not rudely bouncing around. And here's the thing too. This is based on me in a bathing suit, to be quite honest with you. I have pictures of me in a black wet look black spandex bathing suit, a onesie actually, which I really love. And I do have leather corsets and brocade corsets with metal fixtures because I love metal on clothing. But women out there, girls today, they're not taught to accept and show their real bodies. Everyone's wearing these fake coconut foam bras nowadays, which I hate. They feel horrible. And I heard a guy tell me once, look, I don't even know what I'm getting because they're all wearing these fake bras. But if they want me to think they look like that, then they can't blame me and be mad at me if I'm disappointed with what, hangs down as empty flapjacks. There are girls with triangles. There are girls that go in different directions. Not everybody goes up. They're very lucky, But experiment with showing real body shapes that are not this. I am actually this when I'm eating too many donuts. And I'm a little bit different when I get back into shape. Because like right now, I've lost a lot of this. But if I put on a corset, that's what I look like. This is what I look like. But I see so many girls out there and guys dating. Who are they dating? The girls that barely have anything there because they don't have big stomachs, big butts. They have long, thinner legs. And I'm sorry, but a lot of guys would rather be with the girl who can wear spaghetti straps. Not the big busty thing that everyone, this voluptuous thing that's online. And I know we hear all the body positive stuff. I don't want to make anybody feel bad. There are people bigger than me that just rock it and look amazing and are having the best life. I'm envious. But I'm somewhere in the middle. And being sporty and with muscle, I was turned down a lot. Also, I'm shorter than average, so I was turned down a lot. And I look younger than my age, so I was turned down a lot because people feel like they're looked at as if they're a pedophile when I'm dating people my own age group. And I don't want to date a pedophile. So I'm definitely not dating people much older. Also, I don't want to be with a stick in the mud personality, which I found a lot of guys younger than me are, if they come from certain backgrounds of thinking. So it's like hard for me to find someone to date. But if I were that petite little pixie type, I would show that off and I would work that. But nobody's popularizing it. So I would say, yes, give them boobs, but think about what boobs really look like. Give us some triangles. I mean, I'm going to pull an old name out. I'm thinking of Charlie's Angels. When I was a little girl, Charlie's Angels had dolls and they had a TV show. The original Charlie's Angels was like, Farrah Fawcett. She was triangles. And certain angles in those love scenes she was in, that looked very attractive. I don't know what angles you're going to show your avatars, but I mean, represent the girls that are out there so they don't want to cut themselves up with plastic surgery. Or wear these fake coconut foam shells under their shirts. Like, make it okay to be what Hollywood doesn't cast as the leading lady. I'm going to put it like that. I'm not what a ballet company would put in the leading role in a tutu. They usually pick a girl that's barely there. Looks more like because someone with my size would be considered rude to be naked in public like that. That belongs in a house of ill repute. But the one that looks like a prepubescent is the one that less offends people and gets cast. If you are upward to the sky, and usually those are fake, naturally, you're going to be the leading lady. I might be cast as the best friend. We'll put it like that. So all these, as much as people are using and popularizing these models that are over voluptuous and super bouncy everywhere, it's kind of on the rude spectrum to me. Like, I just want it to be put together and a respectable bounce, because in the real world, I'm strapping it in. I'm holding them in place because I don't want to be rude. And you are treated differently for your shapes and sizes too at work, even amongst women. So, yeah. Okay, I'm going to give you something for this. You're not going to know it's coming. So, a lot of artists in the once upon a time were actually, I'm thinking of the Bathing Beauties. I don't remember the name of the series or the artist, but to say the women who sit in towels with towels around their head and their backs are to the artist. A lot of the time you see side boobage, a little bit of cleavage because it's falling down a little bit. And they've got jugs of water, like those clay jugs of water that are like half the size of their leg and stuff, sitting on their hip or on the floor beside their foot, or in their arms being tipped over. Those models were not women. They were men, because there were certain artists who were shy about the study of a woman's body. And so they would hire boy models and then just plump up certain parts to have a more voluptuous look. But the models posing for them so they could get these bathing beauty paintings. I won't even say that it was a Dutch person, because there's a Dutch painting that looks like this style that I'm thinking of. But they would use male models, young prepubescent boys kind of thing. Plus, if you think about it, if you find a chubby boy in adolescence, he might have boobs. I mean, guys might have boobs. They might. I dated a guy from Russia who was a nice, thick, hefty guy. But, I mean, in a suit, it all fell in the right places, right? But when he took off his shirt, he was a chubby guy. Like, it didn't look bad on him, right? But his boobs looked better than mine. His boobs were naturally upward bound. They weren't pecs. And his suit looked like pecs. And when I saw that, it kind of turned me off, because I'm like, I didn't want to take off my shirt. He had better boobs than I did. But it also meant when I met his mom and his sister, I knew they had really good boobs. Because, brothers and sisters, moms and sons, you know, they took after their mom. He did too. Yeah, story you didn't know was coming. But, like, you use the framework that you're comfortable with, and then you build on it. Head to an anatomy book from, like, the health books of anatomy to show you where placement is for stuff. I would actually suggest look at movies from the 60s and 70s. Romantic movies. You're going to see natural girls, and even though there might be a ton of like aerosol hairspray in their hair, the hair they had looked much more natural too. And explore natural shapes. Yeah, but I mean, in your genetics, right? I've lived all around Italy. I went to school there for years. I lived there. I visited there since then with my sister, and, the villages where my grandparents and father were born. Visited all of it. And so many statues, even in the Vatican, of naked women everywhere. Where were the naked men? Oh, they cut off their Johnsons because men didn't want their wives lusting after the statues. They were jealous. So they got fig leaves. That's where fig leaves came from. But the original artists from way back made men showing everything, and as well as the women. But, men got shy in the Middle Ages and gave us fig leaves. But, at least they didn't ruin David. But, I don't know my point anymore. Dang it. I had a really good point I was leading up to. But anyways, DNA. I found, okay, so then I was going to school in Florence, and I found a place called the Bobbly Gardens, which Altrano is the south part of the Arno River. And it's like all of nature was hoarded into this one spot. A big property, lots of rolling hills, lots of fountains everywhere. But the man who owned it all was a regular, middle-aged man who worked very hard and created his wealth, and he was fat. And he, God love him, and to this day, I took a picture of this to remember. I was so thankful that every once in a while in history, certain pharaohs, certain kings, certain men just said, look, this is the way I really am, and that's how I want myself depicted. And he showed himself sitting on a turtle. It's like on the back of the world, carried by the back of the world. This fat man, sitting naked with his big belly sticking out, sitting there right at the front gate where you walk in. He's just a regular guy showing what he really looked like with his one big Molson muscle instead of abs. And I really appreciated that one because I'm like, yeah, there's a real guy. And he did all of this. He's just a regular old guy. And I appreciate that statue. I was at the, what do you call it? I went to Paris, and then I went out to see that castle, the Versailles. And one of the plaster statues that's out there looking down over that, I don't know if it's the river where you can get into rowboats at the base of Versailles. Or you could like rent bikes out there and go in tandem with somebody. There's a statue of a man holding a child, a baby. I don't remember. I think it's a boy baby. But to see like a statue of a father with a baby son or a baby holding it himself, looking happy, I like that, to see that statue was there. To see that remembered. I'm not sure I understand your last comment there. How much they flatter themselves later. Like the Renaissance times, they would have their busts carved with togas because it was like the revival, the reclaiming of Rome. But the women were in normal fashions of the day because they were practical and wanted to show all their finery. Anyways, the sculptures from the ancient periods, I'm going to say like the Michelangelo era, all of the Ninja Turtle names, but based on the real people that were sculptors. It's just amazing. Just the vein work on their stuff is so realistic, so hand done in the day. It was beautiful. Their stuff, I go there and I'm always inspired again. Well, I read something recently where they think they actually painted their statues, like painted in the eyes and skin tones and the colors of the clothing on them and stuff, but I've only ever seen them as stone, dark stone or light stone. Hmm. Yeah. If I could go back in time, I'd want to see ancient Rome and Egypt in the time of Antony and Cleopatra. Yeah, AI does a good job of showing us what remains looked like as living people, or taking art and making it look realistic of people's faces. I like looking at the broken aqueducts where they're broken in places where they're detached from each other, but you can still see all the columns holding up the troughs at the top in the rain. Because in the rain, they're still collecting the water and the rain just comes down like waterfalls. Unfortunately, some of them in Rome were removed since the last time I was there, which is sad because I never did. I often travel the world without my camera and I'm looking at it with my own two eyeballs instead of how everyone's, always camera happy. And so I regret that there's so many beautiful things I've seen that, well, if I could paint better, draw better, I would do it. I think I did at the time, but to see the aqueduct still collecting water and trying to deliver it, but the disjointed places where it comes down like a waterfall, I just thought it was so beautiful. I wanted to stand under those waterfalls, but never got close enough while it was still raining. I'm impressed with all of the ancient engineering. Hey, Dr. Frederick, I think that I'm starting to fall asleep. I'm kind of feeling a bit of a. I don't want to fall asleep on you and start snoring. That would be terrible. So, what I'm going to do is I want to ask you to keep an eye out for the memes. Every couple of days, you're going to see one about fencing that was inspired by you. And I'm going to be working on physical stuff in the real world for the next couple of days, but I will be working on the cooking show coming up for Tuesday night. And yeah. I never get tired of seeing ancient stuff. They were very, very clever. All right. This is Venus Callida. I am going to call it a night because it's actually tomorrow already. So, Dr. Frederick, thank you for sticking with me this long. Fan Rose and Hero Flame, thanks for being here tonight as well. Tishy Adams, happy birthday again. You and Bunny, I hope you're having a wonderful evening celebrating, and I will be seeing you soon. So I'm going to wish everybody a wonderful good night and a nice sleep and sweet dreams. Dr. Frederick, thank you for keeping me company. I hope you're getting sleepy too. I don't want to let you down. But I think I'm going to pass out and I don't want you to hear me snore. That would not be very flattering. But thank you, everybody. And thank you for everyone that's stopping by later. And we will regale you with more tales. I am going to be on tomorrow night for a monthly roundup. A guild meeting, so we could chat more then about all this stuff and more. And, well, I just love the ancient world. It is my wheelhouse. All right. Dr. Frederick, please say goodnight so I know that I'm going. And because if we were on the phone together, I'd say you hang up first. No, you. No, you. You do it. Hang up. Bye. Say goodbye so I can go. Bye. We'll look for new engaging backgrounds. Tomorrow, I will be pulling the guild meeting from probably the throne room or the war room. Maybe we'll take it outside into the ruins above ground. We shall see. We used to do that last year a lot, actually. Maybe we should. While it's still summer, we can have a meeting outdoors. All right, Dr. Frederick, thank you so much. I must say goodbye. I hope we're not on a lag, so please say goodbye back. And that's it for me. I am sweating. I need to turn on the air conditioner, that hum that you do not care for. This is Venus Callida signing off for tonight, but I will be back for the guild meeting, the roundup. We're going to summarize the month that's been going on as I used to do, picking up the old habits, the old ways for the summertime at least. Take care, everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye.